Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing really, really well today. I am Michelle Gailey, and every single week I do some type of tool, tip, training, or inspiration somewhere in the realm of inner work life coaching, sometimes intuitive, emotional work. Everything I share with you is something I've experimented or worked on in myself, and it has worked in my life. Then I've gone on to use it with my clients to see if they can get results with it. And between me and my clients or my students, if it's working for us, we share it with the rest of the world. This is a ripple effect. We want everyone as healthy and as happy and as prosperous and abundant as possible. If you are here with me live, say hello in the chat. I'd love to say hi back to you. If you are watching the replay, put hashtag replay. Either way, it's fine. I'll get an email every once in a while from somebody who says, "Oh, I wish I could watch the live. I can't be there." And it feels like a lower energy. And I go, who cares? I say this, I trust that when the information comes to me, that's exactly when I needed it. And that attitude just keeps me open. And I want that to be your attitude too. Just keeping you open to what you're ready to receive and trust that the timing is divinely guided. Okay, today is all about how to train yourself to be happy. I know it's a strange title, but I wanted it to be a little strange because is it possible? Can we really train ourselves to be happy? Yes or no? Here's what I was thinking when I got ready for this. Well, it's work I'm doing right now for myself. When I wake up in the morning, I notice I have a natural or a default setting. I wake up each morning with the same thoughts, the same feelings, the same sensations in my body. I'm so consistent. And if I'm really honest, they're kind of lower vibration thoughts, feelings, and sensations. It's my natural default. So when I wake up in the morning and I recognize that, I go to immediately to my, there are little action steps I take to shift my thoughts, feelings, and sensations to a higher vibration. Some of you, luckily enough, naturally vibe at this higher vibration. You just wake up and you feel positive and optimistic and happy, and your body feels good and all that. That's awesome. There may be no work for you to do except to sit in that and enjoy it. For the rest of you, most humans, depending on the way you're wired, their default settings are either at neutral or a little below neutral. Now, why is this true? Why is I'm going to call things negative and positive, but I don't mean them in a way that's judgment. I just want to talk about them in a way that makes sense. So, anytime we have a negative emotion, let me say it this way. Let me say it better. If you find yourself the kind of person who notices negativity very quickly, or it resonates when you feel it in someone else, you resonate with it quickly, you can pick up on that kind of stuff easily. I'm that kind of person. I call that someone with a hypersensitivity. You might even call it a hypersensitive nervous system. And that happens for a couple different reasons, I think. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I'm not even a therapist. This is just me working on myself throughout my life. It can come from having a hyper nervous system. You can be born that way. I also notice that a lot of people with traumas, the way their bodies have held on to traumas, can create a very hyper nervous system. It can be in that fight or flight energy. If you notice you're in that, one of the best things I could offer you is to start working on getting out of that fight or flight or fawn energy. There's lots of different methods for that. One of the ways you can do that is the way I'm going to talk to you about this today on how to train yourself to be happy. So notice that what we think in the morning or anytime during the day is usually the same thoughts throughout the day. It's crazy. The same feelings. We stay consistent with our feelings throughout the day and what we even believe about ourselves throughout the day. And I think the belief is the subconscious work to do. What we actually believe about ourselves, how we believe about our place in the world, what we believe about what we're capable of, who we are within our families, within the world, within our cities, and our everywhere. That self-concept is the core piece. And then our thoughts and feelings come to support that. I feel like I'm going on around and around, so I'm going to stick with that. Okay, so I want you, number one, to realize that if your positive thoughts are challenging to you, I want you to know that that's normal. It's super normal for that to happen. And if they're negative, that might be your norm. I'm going to give you one more metaphor or example of this. I'll just use myself. I've been taking cold baths in the morning just as an experiment and for my physical health for the last maybe 2 weeks. So I turn on just the cold water, fill up the tub, and I get in it for 3 minutes. The first 5 times I did this, I was in shock, or it felt like shock. I couldn't stand it. Now, after doing it for 2 weeks, I can get in it. I mean, it's still cold, but I'm not in shock anymore. I am like fortifying my body and my mind and my feelings and the sensations in my body. It's becoming normalized. Does that make sense? My husband put his foot in it the other day after I was done because his ankle was swelling. And so he put his foot in the tub and he came downstairs and he said, "How can you do that? That's impossible to put your body in there. It's impossible. You shouldn't do that." And I thought, no, it's not. It just feels like that about the first 5 times you do it. I thought that was so fascinating. He hasn't done it again. I do it every day. I'm going to try to stick with it. But if I let that go and let the regular, whatever our house is, the temperature of our house, if that becomes normal again, then when I go back to a cold bath, then it's going to be a shock again for a while. So I'm trying to normalize the cold water for my own health and well-being. I'm doing the same thing with how to train myself to be happy. I have to sit down, just like I'm training myself for the cold water. I'm training myself for the feelings of happiness, for the vibration of happiness. And here's what I'm doing. So I want you to imagine a scale. And, just like the old number line when you were in school, 0 is the neutral. You don't feel happy. You don't feel sad. And then let's put sad on one side and happy on the other. Just, you can decide however you want to do it. Mine looks like this, but I know it might be backwards for you. So neutral in the middle, happy on one side, sad on the other. Notice where you are on that number line right now. And again, this isn't the be all end all. I'm just giving you one piece of some training for you to practice. So when I wake up in the morning, I check myself on this happy, sad scale. And I just go on the scale and I go, I'm almost always a little below neutral on the sad side. And I just notice it. So I might call it a -3. And again, this isn't a judgment with shame around it. It's just an observation I'm making. I'm just waking up to how I'm actually feeling. So let's say this morning I woke up with a -3. I said, do you prefer that? Is that a problem? Do you want to stay there? Or do you want to train yourself towards the positive? And I know I want to train myself to the positive because I want to live my life with more ease, joy, grace, love, compassion. Like that's what I want to feel most days. So I know I want to train myself to go towards the happy on the scale. So number one, I make the observation, where are you on the scale? Number 2, is that where I want to be? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, there's no more work to do. If the answer is no, I want to move up the scale, then I allow myself to move up the scale. And I'm going to share with you maybe 1 or 2 ways to do this. So one of the things I do when I've made the choice to move up the scale from sad to happy, I feel inside my body. And I just notice where that -3 is or where the sad is. I just notice. Sometimes it's just a physical sensation, like my stomach might hurt. And if I just breathe through that and just stay right there with it until the resistance, to lessen the resistance, when you stay with something, you'll feel the resistance slipping away, or you'll feel the resistance easing. And that's what I can do when I stay with a physical sensation. So that's one idea I want you to try. And just that alone with a physical sensation and sticking with it, breathing through it, keeping my focus on it, will release the resistance to it, which is usually the cause of the pain anyway. That's one idea. The second idea I want to take you through is, since I'm choosing to train myself to be happy, what I do wherever I am, and like right now, I'm at, like I said, the -3 or maybe -2 or 1 now, I'm definitely can feel myself moving up the scale. And another practice I do is I think of happy thoughts. I think of either happy memories, things I'm grateful for in the moment, or things I'm excited about in the future. The best thing I can do usually is to stay in the moment and everything that is working for me. I can see today, I can hear, I can think, I can feel. I have so much love and support in my life. I can buy any food I want today. I could eat anything. I could go to the grocery store and buy anything. I have that much abundance. The weather's going to be beautiful today. I'm going to get the sun on my face. If I just stay in that, I naturally move up the scale. Another thing I can do is I think about my own students and just this one always makes me cry. I think about how much I love them and how much I care about them and their success. I think about how much they care about other people and how important it is for me to help them go help people. That's where my real love and passion is. So if I can tap into that, I move up the scale really quickly. That one feels like my life purpose. And that one I feel it all over my body and in my head, everywhere. My emotions, that one feels like my life purpose. And when I go there, I'm not even on the happy scale anymore. I'm on another scale. I'm in the life purpose scale. Okay. So just that little exercise, I know I used myself as an example, but it's the easiest thing I can do to explain it to you. Number one, you have a choice in how you think and feel. Step one is to ask yourself, how do I feel today? What am I thinking? Imagine that number line. Decide where you are in that moment. Ask yourself if you're cool with that or if you want to move up the line. I want to move up the line. I want to feel higher vibrations. It makes for a more enjoyable life. It teaches my nervous system that it's safe to be happy, to be healthy, to be vibrant, to be thriving. I keep training myself every single day. I do that by the first method that I told you. Just feel into the emotion that you're feeling and breathe through it and process it. Release all the resistance to it. That's one way. Another way is just to go to the happier thoughts and feelings and really associate with them. And we're training the nervous system that this is the norm. It's safe. Just like I'm training myself with the cold water that I'm safe and it's good for me. Thinking happy thoughts, feeling great feelings, you're safe and happy to do so. Okay. I hope this was helpful today. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to ask. Put a big Q in front of your question in the comments, and I'll make sure to answer them. Also, I have this offer happening right now. It's called Inner Work Circle 7-day trial, or $7 trial, and you get it for 30 days. If you would like to join Inner Work Circle is my place where we're doing this work that I'm talking about. We're doing the inner work. We're looking inside of ourselves. We're looking at our patterns. We're looking at our both the things that no longer serve us, those patterns, and starting to break those patterns and move to patterns that we would prefer. And we're going to be talking about that more and more throughout the weeks. Inner Work Circle, it's kind of in the baby stages, which is why I'm giving you a $7 trial offer. The offer is this: join for $7 for 30 days. If you like it and you want to stay, great. It'll be $47 every month after that. You can cancel anytime. If you don't like it, that's okay. You can just say, I'm not interested. I don't want this anymore. Fine. I just want you to try it for $7. Just to see if you like it. What's one more thing I want to say about that? Inner Work Circle used to be called Intuition Circle. All we did was talk about developing our intuition. And I loved that. We still do a lot of that every Wednesday. Like right now, we're doing soul writing. Next month, we're going to do head, heart, and gut, which is just so important for all of us sensitive souls to understand. But I want to mix intuitive work, and I also want to do some inner work, because I know if we work on us, our lives really change for the better. I see it with myself. I see it with my students. Like, I have one of my students, I won't say her name, but I don't know if she was a big believer in the inner work. And I kept saying to her, girl, if you keep working on you, keep coming back here every single Wednesday and let me help you work on you, I promise the people in your life are going to seem different. Your circumstances are going to seem different. Your ability to do what you really want in the world, that resistance will be gone. And she is seeing the results. And it's so hard to believe. Most of us want to look at our circumstances and point our finger this way, the circumstances in our life. But the inner work always asks us to point it at us and say, how does that circumstance make you feel? And when you start to break the pattern or change the pattern of how you feel about the circumstance changes. Isn't that exciting? Because we can't really change circumstances. We can only ever really change us. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. If you're interested in joining Inner Work Circle for $7 for 30 days, you will see that link in the comments below. I just posted it. And if you have any questions, please put them here. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.